मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Just quickly look at the mantras which you have seen up to number 4. We have seen the first one is Bhajagovindam Bhajagovindam Govindam Bhaja Modamathe. Samprapte Sannihite Kale. It means when the time nears and it is not very, very far. And when the time nears, there is nobody to protect you. Nahi nahi rakshati. So nobody, no one, there's no protection available to you at that time. And this Dukrin Karane is a Panini grammar. It's a sutra. So Dukrin Karane is one of the sutras in the Panini grammar. So this person, as I told you, he was reading the grammar. Dukrin Karane like this. So when the time comes near, any grammar or any other pursuit or any other materialistic pursuit is not going to really help. That's the real meaning of that verse. Then Muda Jahihi. So he says all these people are deluded. Muda Jahihi, and how they are deluded by Dhanam. So the wealth, or they go after the wealth, or they keep pursuing wealth beyond means as what they require. See, Shastram does not say that one must not pursue wealth. In fact, one must need artha. Because if you don't have security, then you will not be secure in doing anything. So you need security. So Shastram does not say about security, nor kama, nor dharma. So it doesn't say anything about this. But everything has to be in the particular manner and the particular proportion. So, Muda Jahihi Dana Agama Trishna. So, Trishna represents the mirage or an imaginary thing. So, just as somebody chases a mirage, thinking it is water, and a person keeps chasing, and he will never is able to find the water. So, ultimately, he just dies of thirst. Same way here also, if you keep chasing materialistic aspects beyond a particular need, as what you need, then it is not going to help you anything more. See, a rich person who is by tradition is rich person. He has been rich all along. If he is getting more richer, he is not going to enjoy more. For him, he is already contented because he has been a rich person all the time. But when a poor person becomes rich overnight, then he does not know what to do. So he or she will actually be spending more time and trying to enjoy more wealth and amass more wealth. That's what it says here. Then agama trishnaha. So for that, kuru sad buddhihi manasi vitrishnaha. So let me be given good buddhi, kuru sad buddhihi, and let me do the right thing. Right? So yat labase nija karma upatham. Vittam tena vinodaya chittam. Then the third one, nari sthanabara nabi desham drishtva maga mohat desham. Yetat mamsaha Safadi vikaram manasi vichintya varam varam. So it says that do not get fascinated or do not get carried away by the beauty of a body. This particular thing, it talks about the women's body here, but we must take it as anybody who thinks that he or she has got a beautiful body or is looking for an external beauty which is not going to last forever. Okay. So, Drishtva Maga Moha Desham. So, this desire actually will take you to a certain extent that you will not be able to come back. So, if you look at history also, there are many stories, many Puranas also, where the greatest of the warriors have been destroyed by women, or by going after women, or going after in a wrong manner. So the great Ravana also an example. See, he was a Pandita. Ravana was a Pandita. He knew Shastram very well. He studied as a powerful person. He had respect for everybody. But then when the greed for women, when he saw Sita, the beautiful Sita, all his Shastram went out of the window. Whatever he learned, whatever Pandityam he gained, everything was of no use, because he fell for this beautiful lady. And then that brought his demise also. So we got Bhasmasura, stories are there. Vishwamitra, also a great saint, also can fall to Menaka. So what he says here, Etat Mamsaha Vikara. So they are all only modification of the flesh, and they are all going to change. They are going to wither one day, and you will no longer be pleasant or happy with what you are and what you will be in the future. So do not, associate yourself, or do not take too much pleasure in that while the time is there. So that you would add that samprapte sannahite kale to this also. That means what? The time is coming near, so do not waste time any more time on these activities, pursuit. Shastram allows, or it is allowed to get married and have conjugal benefits is there. Shastram doesn't deny that. In fact, one says that one has to get over all of them. See, if the vasanas are there, then you'll have to get over the vasanas, correct? If you control your vasanas or your desire, and you want to be a jnani or a mumukshu or a sannyasi, then these vasanas will one day overtake you. So somehow you'll have to manage them, and they are not going to be gone just like that. So one has to work hard towards it, develop satkarma, kuru sat buddhi. So by developing good attitudes and good buddhi, slowly these bad habits will go, or slowly this association, aha moha vesham, so this also will go a bit of time. So manasi vichintya varam varam. So always keep thinking in your mind all the time this. So manasi vichintayaha. So there's not a single moment when you should should always be thinking about it. Always. So whenever you pursue anything, you have to ask whether, do I need this? If I need absolutely this, okay, go for it. Then if you need something more than that, you can ask, do I really need this? So the question has to be asked again and again whether you need it or not. And then if your answer is, I'm contented, then after that you do not chase desire. But the moment your contentment is not there, then you start chasing the desire. Okay. That's what it says here. So then the repetition, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamathe. So that repetition is there in every verse to reiterate that after every verse, one has to contemplate on this Govinda and pray to Govinda for blessing and getting jnanam for this. So we saw this verse also. Then in number 4 we saw Nalini Dhala Gata Jalam Ati Tharalam. So this talks about just like the lotus which is there in a dirty pond. The lotus is, if you look at it, if you look at the water where the lotus is, it looks very dirty. You would not even want to go in there. But the lotus, when it actually comes out of the pond, it always stays above the dirty water. Have you seen it? The lotus will always not be touching the dirty water. The root, the stem will be standing above, and the lotus will just be blooming above the dirty water. So the dirty water does not touch the lotus petals, and neither the leaves which are surrounding the lotus also doesn't touch the water. So only the roots are there in the dirty water. What it means that even though we are living in a polluted society, in an environment which is completely polluted, which is completely of all these things are there, one must live like a lotus. One must be above. One must not be touched. One must not be influenced by this. Then only, so he compares this one to the lotus. And also, when the raindrops fall from the sky, the water drops do not stay on the leaf for a long time. The drops fall, they just slide into the water again. So any abuse or anything which you are getting from other people or anything, etc., must not affect you, or affect us in general. If we see, because we meet different types of people, right? And all of them are not like this. Some will be praising, some will be sitting next to you and then dragging you right down there. So how do you handle this? The way you handle it is just as you are able to handle praise. Do not be overlated. Do not be overjoyed by what you achieved. At the same time, do not get depressed by something which you cannot do. Because depression or losing and getting things are different. They come and go. Today you will not win it. Tomorrow you will win it. So one has to have the positive approach of not getting let down by situation or by people and staying always positive. That's what it says here, right? So tad jivitaha atihe chapalam. So may you know vidhi vyadihi abhimana grastham. So this abhimanaha is a vyadi. This is abhimana means deha abhimana, atma abhimana, ahankara, all abhimana. Abhimanam towards physical body, abhimanam towards an object of desire also is all, they are vyadi, they are disease. So the disease slowly will take over. So lokam shoka hatam cha samastam. Okay. So this, up to this you are clear? Got the meaning, right? Any questions so far up to number 4? Okay. So now we'll go to number 5. So yavat jivitaha. So yavat jivitaha arjanaha saktaha. So the word, see, yavat deepto parjana saktaha. You have to break the word into yavat vittoho arjana saktaha. So four words are there. Yavat vitto arjana saktaha. It means, yavat means as long as. Yavat means as long as or as much as. So yavanta kalam. Means till such time you are there. And jivitaha vittoho. So as long as you are alive, the word vittoho means artaha, artaha or desire. So as long as you are there, there is desire in you. And what desire is? It is arjanam. Arjanam means earning. So there is a desire to earn money. There is a urge to earn money and to be secure more wealth. So yavat vittoho arjana saktaha means as long as you are making money, you have a desire to make money, you will make money. And saktaha means capacity or the one you are useful. So saktaha means what? Capability, or you have the capacity to earn money. So as a you know, in olden days, the Purusha used to go out, the male used to go out, earn money, protect the family, and had the capacity to earn money. So what it talks about here is men or women. As long as you have the capacity to earn money, you have the desire to earn money, you will continue to make money and you will be useful. Okay. If you don't have money with you, assuming, supposing, one day we say, see, I don't have any money with me. So what do you have? I don't have anything with me. I am care of platform, say. Nobody will give you any girl for marriage, right? Nobody will come and get married to you. You will be of no use to anybody. Right? So you have to survive society, you have to make money. You have to prove yourself and you have to be respected. So that is a driver for the person to keep earning money and to become famous, that you have to be known by a particular standard. If somebody is having a 5-bedroom house, you would like to have a 7-bedroom house. Then what do? You call designer, master builder, somebody like Master Tan or somebody. You ask him to design explicitly, all electronic control buttons, walk in, you talk, light will come, all sort of things. So what do? You go and invite everybody, have a showcase. Come to my house, and then you show him all the features, and aha, what a beautiful house you got. Then when you go back home, what do you think? See, those people are not earning that much money, but they have a big house. We are all earning money. Well, why can't we afford a house? So the discussion starts at home. The husband says we should buy, or maybe the wife says we should buy. And then this disagreement between the two. Why do we need a house? Like this? Too much of mortgage. All things discussed. So what this talks about is that as long as you are successful, as long as you are earning money, you will be wanted, or you will be looked after the society. You will be looked upon as a key member. If you don't donate anything to anybody, if you don't participate in any function, if you don't invite anybody to house, see, if you don't call anybody for dinner also, they will say, he has not called me for dinner, why should I call him? So for making the capacity, you need to have the right environment. Some people don't invite because they don't have the right house. There's also pressure. They think more about other people than themselves. What they will think is important than what you can afford. People don't really mind. They don't come and want to look at your house and give comment, etc. They just want to feel comfortable. So it's how you approach things and how you give things is important. It's all attitude. Right? So yavat vittoho means arthaha. Arjanam means the urge or the urge to earn money. Saktaha will be very strong and you will be useful. Then tavan nijaha. See, tavan nijaha parivaro raktaha. As long as you are earning money, the first, yavat vittoho ardhana saktaha. As long as you are earning money, you are successful and you are contributing, you are able to, buy what the other person wants or fulfill desires what somebody else wants. Tavat nijaha means till sustained you. And who parivaraha. Parivaraha means family. So all the people around you, the parivara means not just your wife and children, the people around you. So whoever you interact, all of them, all the parivara, etc. So the word raktaha indicates your blood relations. See, raktaha means your blood relations. So immediate family member, husband, wife, children, and also the blood relations, raktaha. So yavat vittoho ardhana saktaha. Tavan nija parivaro raktaha. So till such, as long as you are earning money, as long as you are productive and you're useful to them, so long you will be respected by your family members. You will be given a place to stay. You will be regarded well by all the blood relations also. You go to a wedding, sometimes, when you go to the wedding, right, they give it a card. You decide whether should I give you $25 or $50, $100. So what is the criteria for that? There are several things. You look at the wedding itself. Whether if you give, too much less, they will think, see this person, I'm inviting for such a big wedding function here. I spent millions of dollars for this, huge party. 6 different cuisines, band, live auction, so many things are there. So when you go and give something like this, other person also will get offended. You will also feel very bad. So what it means, as long as you are in the same society, same, level wavelength as other people are, they will respect you. So that includes blood relation also. Then, paschat jivati means, paschat means thereafter. Paschat, you take the word jarjara dehe. See, jarjara dehe means, see, jara means old. And jarjara means very fragile, old looking body. After that, you become very, very old, become very fragile. You have a very old body because you keep working, you become 40, you become 45, you become 55, you become 60, you become 70, 75. The age just keeps going on. Right? And you know that you are getting old also. So, paschat jarjara dehe. Jivati means living. So how are you living? You are living as an old person. As an old person, you are living, fragile looking person. And what happens at that time? Vartaha kopi means, Vartam kopi, he means what? Nobody comes to even ask you whether you are there or not. You are lying in a corner in a bed, and because the old body sometimes, like when you are very old, it's got a smelly body also. The body smells because of the old age. Nothing to do with the person. Even though you take bath and everything else also, if you are on the bed all the time and you know the blankets, etc., they have an odor. I'm sure you would have seen it. You would have, when you walk in the old man's room, sometimes who's kept alone because he has got his own room, his own TV, everything set up there. When you suddenly go into the room, you will find the aura, the odor is different compared to what in the other rooms. I have seen it because all my grandfather were like this, and I can see even my great grandmother. She was 102 when she died, and it's just because the body is like this. You become very frail, like a stick. You become. You can count the number of bones. You touch somebody's hand, you can touch the bone. It is that old, fragile. So jarjara dehe means you continue to live like this in such a form, in a form where nobody wants to talk to you. Vartaha kopinaha. So na means what? Nobody. So vartaha kopinaha. Varta means talking. So in such a situation, nobody is coming and asking you, how are you? Are you feeling good? Do you want anything to drink? Can I take you to for a ride? Because they do not want to be connected with such a person. See, formality they will ask, oh, hello, how are you? All okay. And they'll just go on. They desire at that age, somebody should come and talk to them, sit, hold their hand, read them a story, or talk to them about something else. It is a desire because that's how they have been living for so many years, having been the company of people. Suddenly, when the body becomes old, when you do not have anything more to give to anybody, you are pushed to a corner. It is not, they don't tell you this. They say, see, now I think I'll give you this place. You comfortable TV, everything is there, water, everything is there, and you can be comfortable in the room. So it means what you allocate into a room and then you are just there. So Bhajagovindam, tells you harsh truths. It tells you how people are and how I'm sure that we relate to people also like this. See, in the old age home, if you go, you see that even Australia, if you go to old age home, you see how they are treated, how they are longing for people. Because there is nobody. The husband and wife are working. They don't have time to come until 7:30, 8 o'clock. And by the time they go, they're already eating some dinner or they have a particular time when you can spend time. Half an hour they can spend. So the whole day, in the morning till evening, they are there by themselves. What do? They think about when people will come, whom they will talk. They cannot even walk also. They cannot go to next room and have company also. So what they get up from the bed, they watch TV, they again sit down, sleep, read a book. Life is alone, lonely. That's why it says here, Vartaha Kopinaha. And Pruchati. Pruchati means ask. So there is nobody even to come and ask, how are you? Or what do you want? Are you comfortable or not comfortable? See, this is written in the olden times. I do not know now. There are also good daughters and sons who are taking very good care. You should not generalize, but what it is saying is, we must not be like this. And we may also come to such a scenario. See, we are now working hard for making the children, correct? See, we are running millions and billions, whatever dollars are there, building big houses, buying cars, etc. And the children is watching. See, one day, I'm the only lonely child, Only one son is there, one daughter is there. So after this old man, people pass away, what are they going to do with wealth? So it is going to come to me. They will not tell you, but they already have a premonition. It is something they expect. They will not tell you it is. But if you do not give it to them, supposing, say, I'm going to write it to Arshavidya Australia Trust, supposing, they'll come and tell you, why do you do this? I am right in front of me. Why can't you give them money? Why don't you write it to trust, charity trust? Because all along the expectation is there. Even though they don't disclose it, it is there. And we are working for that expectation, which we do not know. And when the time comes, they may say, look, I can't take care of you anymore, and I will put you in an old age home. Mudiyor illam. In Tamil, we call Mudiyor illam. So, because they cannot take care of them. It is too cumbersome, complicated. The requirements are very difficult. So, they go and put them in an old age home. I'll come and see to you. I'll pay them money. Everything is taken care of. You'll be given a shower. You'll get everything there. I'll come and have a look. But that is not what you're expecting. Because you're living with them for so many years. And you cry that time. Internally, you cry. You do not externally cry. Internally, you bleed and cry. Say, look, what I spent my entire life for these people. I work for these people and look what they did. So that word, Pascha Jivati Jarjara Dehe Vartaha Kopina Prichati Gehe. So there's nobody who is here who is going to come and ask me anything. So as long as you are there, well and good, your needs are you're fulfilling the needs of the family and other people, you are respected. The moment you feel that you are not useful to them in any form, physically, but in any way, mentally, financially, why would somebody keep you? Because the connection has always been with Artha. So they do not ignore you. See, what it signs is they don't ignore you, but they have better things to follow up. They say, instead of wasting time here, let me pursue my own interests further. So they get busy with something else. So Shankara says here in this verse, the implied meaning here is, having concern for children is different from getting attached to children. Having concern for children, supposing your children are grown up, having concern, it means what? They should do well, and I'm concerned that they are doing okay. But if you attach yourself to them and you seek your happiness in them, supposing that if they are happy, only I'll be happy. That means what? Your happiness is hinging on other person's happiness. This is a difficult thing because other person gets unhappy, you'll also get unhappy. So you love them, you give them all those things, but leave them at a distance. Do not get connected with them, or do not get attached to them in any form. Do not have expectation that they will take care of you. You will have to find your own lifestyle. You will have to find your own way. That's why the Dharma Shastras say the Varnashrama is very clear. After the 50 years or so, when you are perfectly agile, 50 years a person can walk, he can talk, he can do things, physically he can do things. You are supposed to be leaving the house. Because in the olden days, people used to get married very early. When they are 19, 20, they used to get married. The women, when they get married 20 years of age, by the time they're 50, they're already having a daughter or children or a son who's already got married. And probably they have a grandchildren, one or one. Is it right? They already have that. But now because of late marriages, 30, 35 people get married. So by the time you are 60, 65, only you start thinking about all these things. So what it says here, when you're 50 years of age, you're supposed to be going to Vanaprastha. When husband and wife leave the house or they go to some other place just by themselves. And they live as friends and they support each other and then they just grow like that. So the children are left behind and be concerned. If they require help, they call. Okay, you go and ask them, do you need any help? It's okay. You're okay? Fine. So this is called maturity of the mind. That's what it says here. That whenever your attachment there is demand on your part. Is that correct? So when you get attached to somebody, you have a demand. Like, see, I expect that person to be like this because you are attached to the person. If you do not have attachment, you do not have any demand for the person. And when you do not have any demand, then you do not get dissatisfaction. Right? That's what is important. So the whole Shastra study here is for us to develop that attitude by which we do not get associated or attached to these people mentally or physically. We should just be independent. We must be in a position to help them when they need, not just go and fall overboard. When they don't want also, you just go and tell, do you need anything? Can I come and help you out? No. they will say sometimes, it's okay, you can come today. Then tomorrow says, tomorrow I'll make some other new dish. I'll come and give you. They want to be around themselves, but they won't tell you because of respect to you. But what do? Oh, today I give you this. Tomorrow let me go and sit with them. So you go and spend 2 hours with them. Sometimes you feel late, you want to sleep there. After some time it becomes boring. They will tell, like, it's okay, we can manage. I think I know how to cook. They will tell you indirectly. Is it right or wrong? They will tell you. So that's the time when you realize. If you don't even realize at that time also, it is difficult. That's why he says here, Paschat jivati jarjara dehe vartaha kopinaha prichiti gehe. So there is nobody who will ask you anything at that time. How are you? Because whatever work you did, you were perfectly okay. When old age comes, nobody is going to ask anything about this. Thereby, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudamate. So therefore, you worship the Bhagavan for, giving jnanam. See, there's a story. In fact, I sent you a text. Right? It is from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So I'll give you a background about that. There was a very great sage called Yajnavalkya. So Yajnavalkya Rishi is one of the greatest rishis. He is quoted in many Upanishads. He has written Bhashyam. He has written so many things. And Yajnavalkya had 2 wives. Okay, don't ask me why they had 2 or 3. Doesn't matter to us. The story is like this. So Yajnavalkya was a great rishi, and he was spending his time living with his 2 wives. He was in ashram teaching students about Upanishad, etc. His first wife was called Maitreyi. The second wife called Katyayani. So 2 wives. So the Katyayani wife is younger in age, and the older wife is slightly older. Is similar to little bit older than her. So one day when all these things are happening, and he calls both the wives and tells, look, I'm about to leave all these things to you. Whatever, my ashram is there, my property is there, my cow is there, or anything which I got, I'll hand it over to you. I'm going to take sannyasa. So the moment this is said, the younger wife is very internally happy. Oh my God, the old man is finally gone. So all of the property will be mine. I think I'll ask him this. So before she asks, or she has got the nurturing, the older wife asks, Maitreyi, sir, you have just told me that you want to offer all the property to us and we want to enjoy this. Can you tell me, by having all the property, can I become immortal? Or can this wealth will give me immortality? Will I be able to enjoy this wealth for very, very long time, forever? This is the question asked by the older wife, because she is slightly mature than the other one. Both of them are in the same Gurukulam, correct? Both of them are same Gurukulam, both of them are the same Rishi. But one of them is little bit mature. And the Rishi says that unfortunately no. Because all the wealth which I'm giving you, it is not going to give you immortality. It is going to go one day, just as I'm living now, tomorrow you will also leave this. So she asked, what is the point of then you giving wealth to us, to me? I don't want this wealth. When it is not going to be enjoyed by me for the rest of the life, or I do not know, for immortal years, then I don't want this wealth. What's the use? Then she asked the question, what is it by which I will get immortality? So what is that source of happiness by which I will seek immortality? So for that he quotes, from this Upanishad, says, I don't know how to say, read the Bhashya, I'll just tell you this. A husband has got love for a wife only because for his own interest. Husband has got love for a wife for his own interest. Okay, because he is interested in his welfare, in his benefit, in his happiness. Is it right? Same way, the wife also is interested in the husband's happiness for her own interest, happiness. The children are also interested in the father and the mother for their own happiness, not for the father and mother's happiness. So all the bandhus, the people who are there, that's why it says here what? Patyuhu kamaya patihi, priyo bhavati. Right? Atmanastu kamayaha patihi priyo bhavati. Means everybody has got a liking, everybody has got their happiness centered on their own self. Everybody wants to be happy for their own self. Can you tell me that I am living for you? You cannot tell that. You may say I am living for you, but you are living for you only. Because that is the way it is. Everybody loves their own happiness. Why would you like somebody's happiness? Even if you love somebody's happiness, it is for your own happiness only. Is that right? So understanding is important. So everyone in this world lives for their own happiness and is willing to look at happiness of other people for one's own satisfaction and well-being. So it happened for both sides. The wife also seeks security in the husband for her own benefit and for her own happiness. The children also is looking at the husband, the father and mother for security and happiness so that he is taken care of completely. So what he's saying is, all these people who are living here, they are all living on their own for their own happiness. Nobody is living for somebody's happiness. Atmanastu kamam sarvam prem bhavati. So everybody is dear to one's own happiness and nobody wants to let go of one's own happiness just like that. It's a difficult thing to do. You cannot say I live in sorrow all the time and I will make you happy all the time. You are not like Devdas. Even Devdas also was like this. He also had some other desire. So what it tells you here is that this is very important, that when we have this attachment, it becomes difficult for us to let go of it. So yavat vitto pardana saktaha tavat nija parivaro raktaha paschat jivati jarjara dehe vartam kopi na pruchati gehe. This is clear. It's a hard-hitting message. Because it doesn't matter, whether you're young or old. Today you are young, one day you will become old. Old people become more older. So it is going to come at some point of time. That's why he says here what? Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrim karana. So you add the word samprapte sannihite kale. So because of this, there is no time, my friend. So you don't waste time. You start early. Any questions on this verse? Anyone has got anything? Is it clear? See, I'm just continuing with what I know. So if you have any doubts or anything you want to elaborate, you put your hand or ask. Okay, we'll go next one. Yavat pavano nimasati dehe. Yavat pavano nimasati dehe tavat pruchati kushalam gehe. Yavat pavano nimasati dehe tavat pruchati kushalam gehe. See, yavat means as long. So the word I told you, yavat, as long. As what pavanaha. Pavan means what? Prana. So as long as there is prana, yavat pavanaha nimasitaha. See, nivasati means what? Residing. Vasati means residing, correct? And nivasati means that which is residing in the body. So nivasati yavat pavanaha nivasati dehe. So in the physical body, the prana is there. It is residing there. As long as there is prana, physical body, tavat pruchati. So till such time, they will ask. What they will ask? Kushalam dehe. Okay, ma. In Tamil, we have this Tilana Moganam Bali, right? Nalamdana, Nalamdana, Udalam, Ullam, Nalamdana. Correct. It's a beautiful song. But that's it's a different thing. But it is, oh, everything is okay, right? You are breathing, the prana, everything is fine. Kushalam dehi. So they ask you about your physical body. Oh, everything okay, you're able to eat food, you're able to, yeah, everything is okay. Kushalam dehi. Then, so as long as you got your prana going in your body, you are breathing, they will come and ask you, how are you feeling? After that is gone, they are not going to come and ask you, how are you feeling? Right? Because there is no prana there. There is no body there. No body, no prana is there. So how can they ask you kushalam? That's what it says here. Gatavati vayoho deha apayaha. So gatavati means when the prana leaves the body, gatavati. Gatam means leaving. And gatavati vayoho. So when the prana leaves the physical body and when the body falls, deha payaha. Deha payo means what? When the physical body falls, because of the prana being not there, bharyaha vibhyati. Bharya means the wife. See, husband also can take. See, bharya vibhyati means the wife gets scared. See, she was there for such a long time. Today is not there. The children will be there. Everybody will be there. But the person who's most caring person is the husband, or for the wife. So it's either ways. See, if the wife passes away earlier, then the husband also is grieving because he suddenly feels that I don't have anybody anymore. Whatever children may give support, etc., the vacuum created by the person is never replaceable. Correct? You may feel satisfied. You may try to hide your happiness in somebody else's happiness, but there will always be a time when you will be alone and you'll be wondering that you are still alone. Okay? And this loneliness is the one which makes you scared. Right? That's why it says here, bharyaha vibhyatihi. And how does it? Tasmin kayaha. Tasmin kaya means, this kaya means the physical body. Okay? So when the physical body falls, when the body is not there, tasmin kayaha, bharya vibhyati. So don't take only bharya means only wife will be afraid. Even the women, even the men also nowadays are very emotional. They also, like recently, last week, one of my director's, mother passed away. She was last Friday. So I was at the funeral. She was about 83 or something like this. And when you go there, the person who thinks he's the emotionally strongest person, we always feel that this person is very emotionally strong, and we thought that my friend was actually a very weak person, emotionally weak person. But when the time came, and when the body was brought into the house, for taking the final rites at 2 o'clock, you can see the amount of tears running in the house. All men crying tears. The women of the women folk, they couldn't control. So what it says here is that sometimes the most strongest emotionally person who you think in the real lifetime, oh, she's a very strong woman, nothing will happen. But then when the death comes, when the physical body falls, this image of the person completely breaks. Emotionally, this is complete shattering. Why? Because the association or the emotion is still with the physical body. Because the attachment is with the physical body, and the happiness was placed on the person's happiness, physical body, correct? Being around there. If the person is no longer there, then it becomes difficult for the person to continue living. That's what it says here. And these are all known things, and one has to be mature enough. So, yavat pavano nivasati dehe tavat pruchati kushalam gehe. As long as you got prana in the physical body, people will come and ask you, how are you? How are you feeling? Everything is okay. And then they will go have some party. They will socialize, and they will leave you alone there. But then, having the feeling that yes, he is there, our recur. We'll say he's there, she's there. So you have a satisfaction that the person is there and he will be there. So when you go and all this work you do, at the end of the day come home to see this person being there. Right? And what do you say? Today everything went well, all okay. You had dinner, lunch, okay, all good. So you just go and do your work. But one fine day when you come, this person is not there. So he says that situation, Gatavati Vayoho Deha Payoho Bharya Vidyati Tasmin Khai. So the word Bharya means wife here. But the word Bharya should not be taken only as women, it is also for the men also. Anyone who is emotionally not steady, emotionally not ready, such a person will go through this fear. Or fear of what? Death. Which is Samprapte Sannihite Kale. Samprapte Sannihite Kale means what? It is very, very near, and this situation is going to come one day. So do not have over attachment. Do not place your happiness on, but try to find happiness in that which is permanent happiness. That which makes you free from all these emotional limitations is what we're seeking for. That's why what Purushartha Nishchaya is important. See, if you don't have Purushartha Nishchaya, if you have Artha, Kama and Dharma as the priority, and Moksha is not there in your radar at all, then all Artha will leave one day. Security is not there for life also. What security you will have in the house? Desire, Kama also will not be there anymore. When you cannot see, when you cannot hear, when you cannot talk, when you can't eat food properly, what desire will have? Somebody will tell you gulab jamun is there, you will feel mouth watering there, salivating, but you cannot eat because you have a sugar problem. One second. So yavat pavano nivasati dehe thavat pritchati kushalam kehe. Ghatavati vayoho dehapaye bharya vidyati tasmin khaye. So you see, Bhajagovindam doesn't, tell nicely. It tells very hard things. It tells you that you are old person. You are mudaha. You will feel dejected, and you will be alone when you die. And if you don't develop all this knowledge, you will just be on a bed like this, and nobody will even talk to you. So very important message, right? So one has to be emotionally steady. Is it clear to you? These two verses are today. Radhaji, is it clear to you?
Yes, Ji. Injection is doing well. Direct injection you are giving now.
Yeah, because my teacher gave me injection long time ago, 10 years ago, and I have not recovered from it.
Thank you, Ji.
Because Bhajagovindam is like that. It's like insulin. Like if you can take sugar tablet and everything else, it will take you a lot of time.
So week after week you are giving us.
When you take injection, right, it will go straight to the blood, and you will feel immediately, my God, you feel the energy. That's what Bhajagovindam does to you. So the 31 verses, all 31 verses are power packed. It just tells you message: do. Don't.
So making it, getting matured day by day.
There's nothing like saying that maybe you can do it, maybe you should do this. Or if you do this, you'll better. No. Gita is like, Bhagavad Gita says like this. But Bhajagovindam in this verse, he is very terse, and you will see later on in subsequent verses, he just, rubbishes everything.
So reality is strongly injected now.
Yes, correct. Sriramji, you're okay? You're able to follow?
All good. Thanks, Shankarji.
Okay, I'll just, complete the class, and I'll see you next time. Okay? Hari Om. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste. Shubh Ratri.